Welcome everyone to this video where I'm going to be talking about astrology, and a quick wiki definition about what astrology is that it's a range of divination practices recognized as pseudoscientific since the 18th century that proposes that information about human affairs and terrestrial events might be discerned by studying the apparent position of celestial objects. That's why in this video I chose to represent on one side Earth and on the other side the ether. So there is what it's designated as in French, and ether, that's the spiritual realm, that's the unseen realm. And I wanted to contrast it with Earth, Earth being the physical realm, the seen realm. Also, the ether being the realm of the asters and the stars. What we're going to start off doing is, first of all, get an understanding of what Earth is, and we're going to build an Earth to make sense of it. Now keep in mind, this won't be the same as how Earth came to being, it's just to understand, right? And to start this, we need to first of all have a sense of the universal gravitational law, which is the following. It's not that complicated. So wherever there's two objects in the universe, there's going to be attraction between them. And that attraction depends on the masses of the objects as well as the distance between them. So the gravitational pull that I receive from Earth is stronger than the gravitational pull that I receive from the Sun, even though the Sun is heavier than Earth and has more mass than Earth. Everything in this universe has a gravitational pull over everything. Everything has attraction to everything. It's just how far that thing is away from you. And that's a principle that we need to understand in order to make sense of what's coming. So I'm gonna leave this one here, and I will start the making of the Earth. So we'll start off by creating two blocks of Earth or whatever elements you want, but definitely Earth type of elements. And these two blocks, they're going to be attracting one another, like the following. And then we can add another element. This one too is going to be attracted to the global thing, which by the time is going to reduce the distance. And then this one also is going to be here. Given enough time, we'll be having a block of Earth. So this is a simple way of viewing how Earth was formed. Now, say this is Earth that's made out of these particles of Earth or rocks or whatever you wanna consider them. Every element of this Earth is attracted one to another. They are attracted to each other's. But everything is specifically gravitating towards the center of the Earth because that's the closest point to everything. And so you have, let me just spam this for you to understand. Like this, like this. This one is also attracted to this one too, this one too, this one too. Everything is attracted to the center of the Earth. And so by the end, you will have that since everything is attracted to it, this place in the center, maybe red, this place is pressurized and it's cooking. So that's the center of the Earth. That's what generates most of the gravitational pull. That's why in exercises of physics you find that the center of the Earth is the one responsible for the gravitational pull. That's just a simple simplification of it. Okay, so we have earth, we have fire, because again, the center of the earth is cooking, it's so hot. And now we're going to add other elements to the earth because they will allow us to understand some other aspects of this realm, which is the physical realm. Let's say that this is a pool, and now we're going to add water in it. We could represent water as one single block, but again, to better understand this, we're going to represent it as elements, as multiple blocks. So these are blocks of water. And of course, they are also pulled down towards the earth. But what's more interesting than that is that if you, for instance, have another element, this element is going to be silver. Silver is more attracted to the inside of the earth than blocks of water that are the same size of it. So what happens is that through time, silver is going to go down inside this water. And think of it like a funnel. The entire earth is a funnel. Whatever is having the most will to be attracted to the center of the earth is going to be there. And of course, since silver is heavier than water and it has more gravitational pull towards the center of the earth, it's going to go down. And that's how we find multiple elements, different elements that are in different depths of the earth. And now for the last element, the air. I'm gonna give it this green color just to make sense of it. And it is not as attracted to the center of the earth as water particles because water is heavier than air. The air particles remain in the surface of the water unless they find themselves in bubbles. They quickly seek to get high up because water wants to be the one that's attracted to the earth more than air. So you might wonder, why would it be that a boat, for instance, going to make a boat that is made out of silver or metal, why is it that a boat like that isn't sinking down? And the reason why is that in reality, most of what this boat is made out of when you represent it in a model is metal on the outside, but in the inside it's made out of air. So that's why overall the volume of the boat isn't sinking, because it's mostly made out of air in the inside. And all of this to establish this thing, which is the viscosity of this realm, which is Earth. If there wasn't Earth, there wouldn't be air that is attracted to it here. We wouldn't be finding air around Earth if it wasn't for the gravitational pull of the Earth. So you can think of this entire place as being a dense physical place. In order for you to go from point A to point B, wherever you are, you're going to be going through substance, right? And that creates resistance, which creates work. So in order for you to travel from point A to point B, you are making effort. And if you've noticed, I've mentioned the four elements of Earth, or rather the four elements of astrology in the making of Earth, in order to understand again. So fire, earth, air, and water. Now, of course, there's more than four elements on Earth, but just for the sake of simplification and for the sake of symbolism, the fifth element is actually what's interesting here, because we're going to move to the realm of the ether. So fire, air, water, earth, conjoined as above, so below. If you can notice the symbols here, they end up giving this format right here. So this is a famous Hermetic principle, or for those that know about the Hermetic principles, they know this. That's not a famous principle, but a well-known principle amongst Hermetics. As above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. According to ancient and medieval science, ether, also known as the fifth element or quintessence in French, as I know it, is the material that fills the regions of the universe beyond the terrestrial sphere. Now, what else could be said about this realm before we move on to the other realm? What is in here is experienced through our senses, our main senses. And if I were to ask you how many senses we have, the obvious answer is we have 5 senses, and some people believe that we have also the sixth sense. But in reality, again, the fifth sense thing is only a symbolic thing, probably because we have 5 fingers, the same way we count until 10 because we have 10 fingers in both hands. So let me check for you exactly how many senses do we have. So when I write down that question in Google, how many senses humans do have, you've got the answer from BBC Science, and then you've got answers from other sources. You can also ask ChatGPT, by the way, which I've already done, and he said some answer between 20 and something like that, 20, 21. I don't remember exactly, but the thing is that we have more than 5 senses. Sight turns out to be one of those 21, 22 senses that we have. Let's even say that we have 33. Either way, we have a random number of senses. And that random number turns out to include a sense which is the sense of sight. So there's organisms without the sense of sight, like this fish that I found. This fish doesn't have eyes, and unless some part of its lineage had eyes, the concept of sight would have been or would be inexistent to it. To it, the visible world is everywhere yet nowhere. Even its dreams must be different than the dreams of someone with sight. Imagine telling this fish about the visible world, how mind-blowing that would be to it. And if you look through the evolution of organisms, you will find that at some point a lot of organisms didn't have sight, and it developed through time. Aristotle, I guess, I'm not 100% sure about it, but I think that he's the one that said that all senses are a variation of the sense of sight. Sorry, all senses are the variation of the sense of touch. When you're hearing something, your ears are touching sound waves. When you're smelling something, your nose is touching particles of that something. This is also the case for when you're seeing something. Your eyes are touching frequencies of light. And imagine what it took for the ancient people to come up with conclusions like these before we came up with all the discoveries and sciences we have today about light. All it took them is logic, basically. And so back to our realms right here. Let's say again, this is the physical realm, this is the seeable realm, this is the seen, and this is the unseen again. What happens when you deny the existence of this realm is simply you stating that because I have 20-ish senses, that 20-ish sense which happen to be sight, a random sense, again, a sense where you're touching another thing which is light, that sense is all that could be and could ever be, that there's only a seeable physical world. It's like saying that since I have $21, and dollars here is analogy for senses, then I'm probably able to buy everything that could ever exist. But in reality, there's more than $21, and there's people with $40, people with $50. Maybe not perceivable by you, but these entities, if they were to exist, they would have an understanding that they can purchase more than the things that you have with $21, that they can see more than 21 senses. This is what it is. It's a simple number that happened to be 21 or 22 or 23, whatever that number it is, it's still random and small. If in a point of evolution we would turn out to have more than 21 senses, let's say in, I don't know, 1 million years from now, we develop other senses, say we develop 20, a random number again, 2542 cents, and that sense is the one that's going to be, actually not that one, but before it we develop a sense at the, let's say the 2240th sense is going to be a sense that's going to make sight seem like nothing. So it's going to be like comparing smelling to sight. And this sense is going to mind blow us, like it's going to be something completely different, completely new to us. And this is what it is about. It's about having faith, and not only faith right now, it's actually logical. To me, this seems logical, and if someone can point out if I have a lack or a mistake in my reasoning, but either way, this place requires faith to be seen. Now we will move to a part of a book called As a Man Thinketh. And this is the part I'm going to read it. So, the soul attracts that which it secretly harbors, that which it loves, and also that which it fears. It reaches the height of its cherished aspirations. It falls to the level of its unchastened desires, and circumstances are the means by which the soul receives its own. This is the important part of this quote, actually. Circumstances are the means by which the soul receives its own circumstances. In these depictions that we've made here, you can see that in this realm is where circumstances exist. So ether, the so far away realm, doesn't have circumstances the same way we do have them here. In here, as I said in the beginning of the video, there's density and there's work to be done, circumstances, but not the same as in here. You can say that the soul wouldn't achieve what he would want to achieve if he remained in this realm. He would need to get in a realm where circumstances exist, and this is another thing pointing out how the soul chooses his life. Alright, so this one is from a different book called The Science of Getting Rich. This theme is found in different books with simply different names. For instance, in the book called Reality Transurfing, he talks about this thing, which is the multiplicity of reality, the alternative space to him. So, I'm gonna read to you again this passage from this book. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thinking stuff. So this place, from my understanding, just like the visible world is everywhere and nowhere to a primitive organism, the same way the spiritual realm is everywhere yet nowhere. It's so distant, like the asters, the stars. It penetrates the universe. Maybe it's a special thing in the brains of the living things. Alright, so I chose from different sources of spirituality, and now I'm going to move to Islam, which has this throne verse, and it's considered to be the most powerful part of the entire book. And we're just going to translate it using Google Translate. Allah, there is no deity except Him, the ever-living, the sustaining of all. Neither drowsiness overtakes Him, nor sleep. And so this is the part for me specifically that made me release the grip towards God, even though I don't know if that's the way to phrase it. So there's a part in this YouTube channel where I discuss lucidity, and it's not that easy for someone to be lucid all the time. It's quite difficult, and one of the tricks in order for you to get lucid in your sleep, in the middle of the night you wake up and then you come back to sleep, in order for you to be more aware when you get into the next REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. That way you catch the REM sleep, which is the most vivid type of sleep, and then you will be lucid. And if I show you in my watch right now, it tracks my sleep and it tracks perfectly my REM sleep stages. And there's a bunch of them where I'm not lucid. So you gotta give it to God when it comes to lucidity. Like He's the eternal lucid one, hands down. And also, when it comes to the fact that I'm certain that most of the things that I see in my REM sleep when subconscious or sleeping, not being aware of what I'm seeing, is something that isn't just being played like a TV in front of nobody, if you know what I mean. There's gotta be someone who's seeing all of that to all of us. All of our subconscious is being witnessed by that entity, and that entity must be God. Okay, so let's continue past that tangent. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on earth. And again, the right stating that is in here is the skies, the asters, astrology maybe. But you can say that it also means in a certain context the heavens, as we've seen in here. Where is it? This symbol here, which also refers to. Alright, so who is it that can intercede with Him except by His permission? He knows what is before them and what is behind them, but they encompass not a thing of His knowledge. His knowledge is only of what He wills. His throne extends over the heavens and earth. The throne here is the name of this passage, and their preservation does not tire Him, and He is the most high, the most great. So God knows this entire thing right here, and hopefully this video gave you a overview maybe of what this physical and metaphysical thing is about, this realm which is the earth, and the ether, there again its name in French, ether its name in the alternative earth. Yeah, I don't think I've missed something. So yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for making it this far into the video, and see you on the next one.